Welcome to HDTV. You now rocking with your boy. Willie Snead. Loss will be a wake-up call for LAMAR JAckson. Ravens quarterback LAMAR JAckson checked off one box with the team's playoff win over the Titans, but Saturday night's loss to the Bills showed there's still things left to do. Baltimore's defense kept the potent Bills offense in check, but 4 trips inside the Bills' 30-yard line while Jackson was in the game ended with just 3 Ravens points. The last of those trips saw LAMAR Johnson, pick off a Jackson pass. LAMAR Johnson picked off a Jackson pass in the end zone and returned it for a touchdown, and the next play would be Jackson's last of the evening. Jackson left after he suffered a concussion, which wide receiver Willie Snead called just a sucky moment in his post-game press conference. Jackson was held in check as a runner and went 14 of 24 for 162 yards through the air in a game that Snead believes will be the impetus for better things in the future. I just think he'll look back at the whole season, not just this game, the whole season, and he'll make those adjustments that he needs to do to be an elite quarterback, and even more elite quarterback. Snead said he is an elite runner, an elite passer, but there are steps he can take, better strides that he can take, and he knows that. That's the competitor in him to want to get better each and every offseason, to fix the little things that his game needs improvement on and continue to get better as a passer. I think if he knuckles down on that part of his game and really reaches his full potential in that area, then the sky's the limit for Lamar, man. It's just a matter of time, so it's really on him. I think this game is going to be a wake-up call for him, hopefully this offseason, so we'll see what he does next year. The Ravens were 32nd in the league in passing offense this season, and the shortcomings in that area helped bring their season to an end on Saturday night. There are other things the Ravens need to address to change that performance, but Snead being right about Jackson will be a real boost to their chances of avoiding another disappointing end to a season. Now, that's Willie Snead talking. Willie Snead is decent. He's a decent wide receiver. In New Orleans, they got rid of him because he really wasn't a great route runner, and he used to drop the ball a lot in key situations. And I think he was up for some money, and they didn't want to sign him to that deal. So basically, the thing is this. I know LAMAR Jackson has to work on his game. We all know that. We know Lamar isn't the greatest of passers, and we know that as well. But you guys, this is what's funny to me. You guys give all of this you get all of this venomous statements on him. Like Shannonsharpe is one of them. He got mad talking about saying, excuse me about that. Talking about saying that, oh, it's not about the black man. Look, he don't need new receivers. He don't need all this. He need to work on throwing it, and he's just going off, going crazy. But Josh Allen wasn't that impressive. LAMAR Jackson really outplayed Josh Allen. The only problem was LAMAR Jackson's line wasn't holding up pass protection. And not only that, the center kept snapping the ball low, high, to the left, to the right. But they're not going to tell you that, because this is what it is. You guys don't want a black quarterback. You guys think every black quarterback is a running back. Lamar is gifted. He can't help it that God gave him the ability to run. And this has been the knock on not just Lamar Jackson, this has been the knock on a lot of quarterbacks that are of black complexion. They don't get a third or fourth or fifth chance. Josh Allen has had two terrible AFC games. The first game in the wild card, he did good early, and then he sucked at the latter part of the game. This game, he sucked for most of the game. If it wasn't for that pick six, Shannon, they would have been done. Now, does Lamar Jackson have to work on his game? Yes. But for all you fans out there, I'm ashamed of you. You see, you guys for years have been giving Aaron Rodgers a pass. A pass. And this is why I have a problem with you, Shannon. You criticize Lamar Jackson, but you don't criticize Aaron Rodgers. You criticize Lamar Jackson, but you don't criticize anybody else. Josh Allen, you brag about his passing each year is getting better. Josh Allen didn't get better until he got a number one receiver, which is Stephon Diggs. Last year, Josh Allen struggled late in games because he didn't have that guy like a Stephon Diggs. That's why they lost to the Texans last year. Because he could not, and I repeat, he could not throw outside the numbers very well. He still can't throw outside the numbers. But you know why he's so great? Because his offensive coordinator is creative and puts him in position to do well. It's okay to give all these white quarterbacks pass after pass. Lamar Jackson is in his third season of starting, fully starting. This is fourth season, and this was his third year starting. He won a playoff game. He won a playoff game. That's a big plus. But no, we can't get that. We can't get that luxury. Let me ask you this, Shannon. How many years has Drew Brees been in the playoffs and it took him a while to get out to get to the Super Bowl? After he went to the Super Bowl, what has Drew Brees done? And Drew Brees puts up all these passing yards and all these numbers, but what has he done? His record is terrible in the postseason. Let's go to Peyton Manning. Since all of you fans want to say Lamar chokes, he's a Mitsubishi in the playoffs, but he's a Ferrari in the regular season. Wasn't Peyton Manning like that too? But y'all claim he's in the top 3 or top 5 best quarterbacks ever. And his arm was nowhere near as good to me as Tom Brady or anybody. He just made good reads to throw the ball in position. I think Lamar had a little better arm than him. But you know what it is? You don't want to see Lamar succeed. You always want to bring up, well, Lamar has to learn how to throw, Skip. He has to learn how to throw. You don't need to fire no coaches. It's all this fire. It's always everybody else's fault but Lamar. That's a lie. Lamar has been blamed for every loss every season. Steve Smith, and shout out to Steve Smith. He's one of the best receivers to ever play the game, in my top 15 or 18 as a receiver. He said something very interesting. The Ravens aren't playing or opening up the playbook or running creative plays. They're running elementary plays. He could, like he said, he could go wake his son up, and his son could basically run the playbook that they're playing. I don't have a problem with them running, Shannon, or a problem with Greg Roman as far as his plays. That play that Lamar Jackson threw a pick Where was his underneath route? If you know your quarterback struggles throwing outside the numbers, why would you just design vertical plays and have him just throw against the vertical? You could have had a running back, or you could have put a receiver or a tight end or a fullback out there to run an L-shaped route out the backfield. He could have caught it, got to the end zone or a first down. But no, you wanted to run all 4 verticals. What kind of play is that, Shannon? Then his center kept hiking the ball over his head or over to the side. Oh, that's LAMAR Jackson's fault as well? Let's talk about your bum, Aaron Rodgers. What's been his excuse? Why hasn't Aaron Rodgers won more than 1 championship, Shannon? Huh? What? And in that Super Bowl he won, it was a fluke. He beat Kyle or Caleb Haney when he had one of his worst performances in the NFC Championship. And if not for Big Ben being hurt or Troy Polamalu being hurt in the Super Bowl, he would have won that. He almost lost that game because he didn't do well down the stretch. He's a front runner. Then let's talk about Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's so great, sets all these records, but in the playoffs, he is damn near 500 or maybe in the 50 percentile of winning percentages. Why is that, Shannon? Why is that? Huh? Drew Brees has lost, kept losing, but guess what? We overglorified Drew Brees. Why? Because he's putting up all these passing yards. He's putting up all these passing stats. Football is not about statistics. And until you people learn, football was played, run the ball, manage the game, and get the ball to your playmakers. And on defense, you play great defense. The Buffalo Bills defense has been saving the Buffalo Bills all year. Jared Allen has some good games throwing against some bad teams. But when he's played against the good teams, Jared or Josh Allen, whatever his name, yeah, Josh Allen. I'm saying Jared Allen. Jared Allen was that raw white boy DN, number 69. He was raw in Minnesota. Josh Allen has struggled. He has not looked good in these playoffs. And he's lucky he's going against a gimpy Pat Mahomes this week. Because I don't think he would have. I think this game, I think he's going to continue to get exposed. And if he gets to the Super Bowl, we'll see what's up. Because I don't trust him. Stephon Diggs, all you got to do is lay the hat to him. And you saw in the game against the Ravens, he was getting that hat put to him. He ain't want no moss. He was struggling until they got that 10-3 lead. That's when he felt good. That's when he started boasting his chest because they're a front runner. Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen are front runners. Their defense is the MVP. Their defense is underrated. They have been great the past 3-4 seasons. And I shout out to Neil, my brother. That's my dog. His Buffalo defense has been the best, probably in the top 3 or 5 the past 3 or 4 seasons. But we criticize Lamar, which I don't have a problem. If you want to constructively criticize him, cool. But to say he's just a running back, to say he can't throw the ball, to say that, oh, he ain't this and that, he's getting a pass. When has this brother got a pass? He's never gotten a pass. If this brother was like Pat Mahomes, you don't even say anything about Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes has played like a D this year. I give him a D for the whole year. The only reason I don't give him an F because he had some games where he brought him back. He had a comeback. But dude, Patrick Mahomes has looked terrible this year. Even in the game against the Browns should have won that game. Pat played like crap, but you didn't call him out. You're like, oh man, Pat just, he look, that's what we do, Skip. He brought him back. He won the game. Pat been throwing garbage yards all year, but you don't never say nothing about Pat Mahomes. You don't never say nothing. At least my boy C. Penn, He'll be real about it, and he's a Chiefs fan. He'll tell you Pat Mahomes ain't look real impressive. He hasn't. Pat Mahomes has looked terrible, but y'all ain't gonna criticize him because he's the guy. He's the mulatto. He's the half-breed. You need him to sell your tickets. You need him to bring all these delusional fans in to be like he's the best. Y'all threw Tom Brady. You throw Tom Brady under the bus every week. You saying Brady sucked, but you never call Aaron Rodgers out. You never call Josh Allen out. You never call Pat Mahomes out. You never call these guys out. But you want to go hard at LAMAR JAckson. You should be ashamed of yourself. And just like that guy said on Twitter that pissed you off, it was funny what he said. Without Elway, Terrell Davis, or Ray Lewis, you would be nothing but another tight end with a big horse mouth. You horse mouth dude. That's what you are, a horse mouth. The Denver Broncos mascot. I come with facts and I watch your show, your little bum show. I watch what you do. You don't never criticize LeBrownies. He always get a pass. You only criticize this man 2 times out of the whole 365. You only criticize them. So it's only 363 that you talked about him in a bad light. You gave him a pass his first season in LA. You gave him a pass against the Golden State team. You made excuses with that weakness in you talking about, man, look at their team. They had a KD. They had a KD. You defend all these weak-ass dudes, but you don't never defend the other guys. You criticize KD, calling him sensitive, talking about he's a mama's boy. That's not journalism. You're not a journalist. You're a bum. You a bum, you a horse mouth, you an entertainer. You a buster. That's what you are. You make journalism look bad. You have killed journalism. You, Nick Wright, Brian Fat Hog, and all of these guys have made journalism terrible. And you guys are not journalists. You guys take things personal. You attack players personally, but you give other players a pass. Y'all don't never stay consistent. Never. You're never consistent. You always want to talk about a player and tear them down. The ones you want to. You went off on Kyrie Irving. After Kyrie Irving was out here donated doing the same things your bum King does, but King James gets praised. He doesn't, right? Because he left King James. That's why you're mad. Then you're always saying that he playing on a team with no help. Always want to say he ain't got no help. Always looking at his stats. You don't watch the damn game. I know you don't. Because if you watch the game, you'll see this bum ain't worth 2 cents. Not even a nickel. I'm ashamed of you. I used to grow up liking how you played the game. Then you gonna talk about, I had to talk to Bill Romanowski. Bill Romanowski will whoop your butt. He would have whooped your butt back then. I don't care how many weights you lift, son. Weights don't mean nothing. Weights don't fight back. You weren't even better than dude. You're not even in the top 5 of tight ends. You might not even be in the top 10 after these batch of tight ends leave. But you quick to diss everybody else like you didn't have a team you played with, Shannon. You had the white boy of all white boys, one of the greatest QBs in history, John Elway. You played with Terrell Davis. Why you couldn't get them over the hump? Since you're so great, why you couldn't push them over the hump? Why John Elway couldn't do nothing until Terrell Davis came? Then you had Rod Smith and you had Ed McCaffrey. But you walk around this thing like you was just the greatest since sliced bread. If you had the quarterbacks that Tony Gonzalez had, you would be in the same predicament Tony Gonzalez would be in. Gonzalez was a better blocker than you, ran better routes, better hands, overall better. Now, as far as entertainment, you are an A+. I love watching the show with your entertainment because you are funny. You are literally funny, dog. Your sayings is entertaining. But as far as your critiquing, you're an F. You're an F. You go after certain players while giving all these other players passes. And dang, dog, your butthole must hurt because every time I'm looking around, you hopping on somebody else's stick. You never liked it, Pat Mahomes, from the get-go. You was wondering why he was picked so high when there was other quarterbacks out there. You said this. Then you jumped on Baker Mayfield's bandwagon. Now you jumped off his bandwagon. Because you saw what I saw. The dude's average. He's not all that. You hop on everybody that's hot. Lamar Jackson came up and took the job. He's only played in 3 full seasons of games. Then his team was hit by the COVID this year. And he still got them in the playoffs. This is what I'm going to say to Baltimore Raven idiot fans and all you fans. Let Lamar walk and let him go somewhere else then. Since you guys think he ain't nothing more than a running back, he ain't going to do nothing, let him walk. I bet Pittsburgh will pick him up quick because they need a quarterback. Ben's done. I bet the 49ers will pick him up. Kyle Shanahan will go after him. Let him go. Just like I told Dallas fans, let Dak go. Let him go. If they're so trash, if they're so terrible, let them go. And for the bum named Mr. V, I'm going to call you Mr. Vagina. Allen Iverson was never overrated. If you put Allen Iverson on LeBron James' teams, he'd have won 3 championships. 3. If you give Lamar Jackson the teams that Ben Roethlisberger had early on, if you give him the team that Patrick Mahomes has, and Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, Lamar Jackson would have won a Super Bowl, bruh. That's facts. Now, Josh Allen, you want to put him in the top 5, right? So, just because he's on this one run, we're going to put him over Russell Wilson. We're going to put him over Tom Brady. We're going to put him over Lamar and Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes. You're out your mind. Josh Allen is a top 8, maybe 9 quarterback. He is. He has a strong arm and his accuracy comes and goes. If he didn't get Stephon Diggs this year, he would have been in trouble. So stop the madness, horsemouth sharp. Stop it. You don't like you going off on Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson may not be better than what he is throwing the ball. It's just facts. But Lamar Jackson threw for 14 of 24, 162 yards. If he would not have thrown that pick 6, they would have won the game. If Greg Roman would have ran an underneath route and gave him a guy to throw to bail him out if everybody is covered, they could have won the game. And then you don't mention the kicker missed 2 kicks. They should have been up 9 or 10-3. But no, the kicker missed all these kicks. The guy y'all say the greatest kicker ever, which I don't know how y'all just bypass Adam Vinatieri like he don't exist, or Sebastian Janikowski. This guy's not good as Janikowski was. But whatever, y'all prisoners of the moment. So when you're talking about people or the game, stop putting it on the quarterback. See, that's the problem with you guys. Y'all give all the credit to the quarterback like there's no defense, there's no running back. I never give credit to just the quarterback. I give credit to their team. When Lamar Jackson went and left the game, what happened? They sucked. Because that's what he is a leader. He's polarizing. He makes everyone around him better. But you wouldn't know nothing about that because you were carried by the Broncos and the Ravens defense. Man, get the F out of here, horse mouth. I'm out. Deezy.